All right, guys, so we're focusing on the spine today. So first thing we're going to do is just come to your hands and knees. And we're just going to do our basic cat-cows. So we're not worrying about segmentation just yet. We're just going to move everything at once. So first of all, we're just going to come into flexion and then extension as much as we can. So we're just going to go back and forth for 5 reps. Number 3. Two more, guys. And last one. Cool. All right, guys. Once you've done that, just grab your rollers. And we're going to start from the bottom of the spine and make our way up to the top. So, first of all, just lie down on your back. Just lift your hips up. Get that roller just at the base of your spine. And then just gently arch your back over the roller. Okay, guys, just move 1 inch or even 1 vertebrae up. And then again, we're trying to arch over that roller right in that particular spot. And 1 more vertebrae up. And again. And again, guys. So we should be almost to the rib cage now. And now what's going to happen is our hips are going to go onto the floor, and now our shoulders are going to be off the ground. Cool, move up another one. And again. If you don't feel much of an arch, you can add a bit more weight by reaching your arms up. And move up again. So we're up in our thoracic spine area now. And again, almost there, almost to the top. And one more time, move up. All right, guys, and just shift the roller to the back of the neck. And just for the relaxation aspect, we'll just look side to side. Get a nice massage into the neck. All right, guys, get rid of the roller and just hug one knee into the chest and do a twist. You might hear your back crack. We won't hold this position for too long. All right, guys, switch legs. Deep breath and then exhale as you twist. Okay, guys, come on out of that one. And we're going to work on a bit of flexion, so rounding of the back. So if you want to focus more on your upper back, you can do that, or you can focus more on the lower back in flexion. But either way, you're going to hug your arms behind your knees, grab one wrist with the other. Now, if you want to focus more on the lower back, I want you to engage your upper back, keep your upper back a bit straighter, and then tuck your tailbone under, so we're really targeting that lower back. Now, if you want to target the upper back, keep that lower back a bit more engaged, and then reach the upper back towards the wall behind you. Or you can just go for a global stretch of the whole back in flexion and just reach your entire back out. All right, guys, we're gonna hold this one for 2 minutes. All right, guys, so now it's been 1 minute. I want you to actually, everyone is gonna focus on the lower back. So we're all gonna kind of straighten up our upper back a bit and really try to tuck that tailbone and target the lower back. So we're trying to round that lower back as much as we can. And let's switch to the upper back. So straighten out the lower back, reach that upper back out and up. Okay, guys, just come on out of that. We'll take a quick rest. Just lie down, relax. A few deep breaths. Then we're going to switch to working more on our extension. All right, guys, come on out of this. And we're going to flip over onto our stomachs. And we're going to go for a seal pose or a sphinx pose. So we're now extending the back. So 3 options. The first easiest one is you're on the floor on your elbows, like this. If that feels okay, you can take some yoga blocks or something. Go onto the elbows on top of the blocks. If that's still fine, we can go up into the full seal pose with our hands on the ground. So pick an option that works for you, where you feel a stretch, but it's not painful. And we're going to go for 2 minutes here. So guys, you want to feel this in the stomach muscles potentially, and you might feel a little bit of compression in your spine. As long as it's not painful, that's okay. And try to feel movement through your whole spine. So we don't want to just be moving through one segment. We want to feel like a nice global arch. 1 minute to go, guys. All right, guys, you can come back down to your stomach, and we'll just lie on our stomach for a few seconds, a few deep breaths. All right, we're just gonna flip back over onto our back. And we're gonna start practicing segmentation in our spine. So bring your heels up by your butt. Now from here, we're gonna lift our spine off the mat, but we're trying to go one vertebrae at a time. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna tuck our tailbone, and just the tailbone is coming off the floor. Then we're gonna go into our lower back, so our lumbar spine. Try to move one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. Peeling off. Now making our way to the middle of the back, to our TL junction. So where our lumbar spine meets our thoracic spine. Now we're through the upper back, all the while trying to go one vertebrae at a time until we have our hips as high as we can, and we're just resting basically on the back of our neck and our traps. Now from here we're going to make our way back down, again one vertebrae at a time. So starting with the upper back. Nice and slow. Keep tucking the tailbone so we're keeping our lower back for last until we're all the way back down to the lower back and the tailbone, and we're back on the floor. All right, guys, so we're going to do one more rep on that. I want you to pay attention to any spots throughout that rep that felt more difficult than others. So you might find maybe your lower back there's not much movement, or maybe right in the middle where your lower and upper backs meet. On this next rep, I want you to really take more time and focus on those areas and try and get as much segmentation as you can from each vertebrae. All right, guys, second rep, we're tucking the tailbone, lifting the tailbone, moving our way up. You're going to notice your glutes working, your abs working, lower back muscles. Take a bit more time on any areas that you need to work on. Until we've got our hips as high as we can. We're just on the back of our neck and our traps, and we're making our way back down. Nice job, guys. Okay. We're gonna do one more rep. Try and make it your best one. All right, lift the tailbone. Go at your own speed this time. Slow down where you need to. Make that connection between your mind and your body. I'm making my way back down now. You may not be yet, that's fine. And once you're finished, guys, just extend the legs. We'll take another break. You may feel warmth and fatigue in the glutes, lower back, abs. We're teaching our core how to control itself. All right, guys, we're gonna go back to hands and knees. And we're gonna go back to what we started with, which is our cat-cows. But this time I want you to focus on that segmentation. So this time we're gonna start the rep at the lower back. So we're gonna tuck the tailbone. And then we're gonna, just like we did on the mat, we're going up our spine, one vertebrae at a time. So once you've got as much movement as you can from the lower back, make your way up through the middle and the upper. And last thing is just tuck your chin. All right, guys, from this position, keep the mid and upper back still. We're just going to start to tilt our pelvis the other way now. And we are arching our lower back. Just like a wave moving up our spine. Through the middle, upper, and look up. Okay guys, 2 more reps on that. So now we're keeping our mid and upper back still again. We're tucking our tailbone back under. Good work. Focus on those sticky spots for you personally. The head is always the last thing to move. Also guys, as we go for our last rep here, make sure we're not shifting our hips back or our shoulders forwards or backwards. We're focusing on just getting movement out of the spine. Nice work, everyone. All right, once you've finished all 3, we are gonna come to a seated straddle position. So you're going to sit down, get your feet as wide as you can, and then we're going to fold forwards. So guys, if you're not really able to reach forwards in this position, you can always elevate your hips on some cushions or blankets or even your blocks. So here we are working our inner thighs, so our adductors, possibly hamstrings also, but we're also stretching out the lower back. And in a minute, we're gonna change our angle so that we're also working stretching the sides of our body, so our obliques. Try to relax, deep breaths. Every time you exhale, fall a little more into the pose. All right, guys, now we're just going to shift over to the right leg and fold towards that leg. So we're going to feel it now a bit more in the hamstrings. Okay guys, staying on this side, but now I want you to square your shoulders up and then put your hand behind your head and reach over this way. So now we're going to work on more the side of the spine. Keep breathing deeply, guys, 30 seconds. Okay guys, switch it over to the left leg. So first of all, we're just going to face our left leg and fold forward that way. Okay guys, square up the shoulders, put your hand behind your head. 1 more minute on this side. Brad, could you just mute yourself? No problem. Nice work, everyone. 15 seconds. All right, guys, we're staying 1 more minute here and we're just going back down the middle. You might feel a bit more open. You might be able to shimmy your feet a little wider. All right, guys, come on out. We were in that position for 6 minutes, so well done. That can definitely be challenging. Let's take a short break. So just, again, lie on the back. Just completely relax. All right, last thing we're going to focus on for today, a bit more of our upper back with a focus on the front rack. So guys, grab your sticks and grab your chairs or benches, whatever you have handy. I'm going to set this up this way. All right, guys, so yeah, some of you may know this one already. We're going to grab our PVC or our broomstick, palms facing forwards. We're going to get our elbows onto the bench or the chair, whichever. And we are going to reach our head in between our shoulders and reach our chest towards the floor. So really focus on extending that upper back. So we're not just working the shoulders, we're also getting the spine as well in extension. You can even try to keep your lower back in a bit more flexion, so kind of tuck your tailbone so that we're really just extending that upper back. Try and breathe deeply. Feel your rib cage expand with each breath. And then as you exhale, relax into that space. All right, guys, come on out of that one. So just to finish, we are going to do our full spine cars. So once we've got more passive range of motion, so we've done a lot of stretching today, we then want to try to make that active, learn how to control it. So, a couple options. You can do these standing, or we can do it kneeling. I'm going to do it kneeling. Just spread your knees a little bit wider so you've got a bit more balance. Now from here, if you have a yoga block, that's fine. We're going to just give that a hug, create a bit more tension. Otherwise, you can just cross your arms across your chest like this. Elijah, I don't think that's going to work, but good idea. It's a bit too big. All right, guys, so from here, we're just going to flex our spine, so round our back. So yeah, that might not work for you either, Melvin. Now we're going to turn our shoulders, so rotate one side as far as we can. Once we can't get any more rotation, we're now going to laterally flex, so lean over. And then we're going to start to extend. So we're basically making our spine longer. And now we're going to lean back and start to lean to the other side. Leaning to that other side as much as possible. Then we're going to twist and start coming back into spinal flexion. All right, guys, one more this way. Rotate, then laterally flex. And then extend, so lean back. Now lean to the other side. And rotate. And we're back in the middle, okay? To the other way. Rotate. And laterally flex. And extend. Trying to carve out as big a circle as we can. And laterally flex to the other side. Rotate. And last rep, guys. Well done. We're moving our spine through its full active range of motion, which is going to help us maintain our mobility, our joint health, as well as it's going to make our spines feel a lot better and strengthen them. Cool, guys, well done. We'll just take one more lie down on our backs. So hopefully throughout this session, you learned something about your body, especially your spine. You may have noticed those segments that don't move as well as others. And so now in the future, you can target those areas. You may also have noticed when we're doing our cars, at the end, we feel weaker in certain areas of the rotation. Or we might feel more of a stretch in certain areas. With our cars, we don't always have to just do the full reps. We can also do half of a rep or a quarter of a rep, just really honing in on the parts of the rotation that we are worst at, or where we feel the most stiffness or weakness. Ultimately, we're trying to be strong in as many positions and ranges of motion as we can. Not only is that going to keep our joints healthy, it's going to reduce our risk of injury, and it's also going to make all the movements that we want to do with our body easier and stronger. And remember, guys, of all these sessions that we've recorded, if any of them felt particularly helpful for you, you can always go back and repeat them. All right, guys, thank you very much for attending, and enjoy your weekend. I will see you next time.